Ashe, greetings. Grand rising, a grand day to you all once again, my fellow natural native earthly human. And welcome to this part 11 of another perspective, analysis and interpretation of the very famous prose poem called Desiderata by the late Max Ehrmann. Yes, you don't know. It's yours truly, I, the Mystic P, along with my companion. Yes, this my favorite bass guitar. And in the background, as you listen very carefully, you will hear my chirping bird sounds right here, chirping and echoing, melodious, natural healing, comforting and therapeutic sounds right here in the background, in the foreground, and all around. Yours truly, I, the Mystic P. Now, just to remind you, as it is my customary, that if you haven't yet watched part 1 to part 10 of this series of talks, I will suggest that you please do so before you continue to watch this part 11. Or please do so as soon as you finish watching this part 11. I can almost guarantee you that you will get a far more deeper understanding, and overstanding of the perspectives, the interpretations, the analysis and insights that I am sharing and that I will continue to share until I fully exhaust this point. So at the end of part 10, I asked that you please stay tuned and join me in this part 11, where I will continue to explain and answer the questions what is meant by the words such as occult, metaphysics, metaphysician, mystic, philosophy, philosopher, and hopefully by doing so, you may also understand and understand why I am called the Mystic Philosopher, and above all, why I am the Mystic Philosopher. Now, from my perspective, these are some very important questions and some very important words that normally I would have done it at the introduction, but somehow I overlooked and neglected to define and explain them and talk about them and share my perspectives and interpretation on them. I neglected to do so in my earlier talks. And in fact, in most of my previous 9 episodes, I didn't focus on them, which I should have done before I even went into and the deep analysis of Desiderata. Now, these are words that I taught all of you, my listeners, and no doubt some of you who have been listening to me from my other channel. I thought that no doubt most of you, my listeners, know and I thought that you knew and that you would know and understand the meanings and definitions and what they represent in my talks. So I took for granted that you knew. But based on some questions that have been asked, I realized I have to get into defining and detailing into the definitions of these words and explain them. So the first word I will define and explain is the word occult. Now, when most people hear the word occult, are you involved in occult and occultism? Occult let people scared, eh? Sort of they conjure up all different type of, things in their mind and become scared, but not knowing the meaning and definition of the word occult and what it stands for. So it is my responsibility to explain that for you and for those who really would like to know and understand. The word occult simply means secret. Simply means that which is not divulged. Hidden. It means hidden. Conceal. Yes, secret. It means to cover up. Or to cover over, to conceal. And at a much deeper level, the word occult means that which is not apprehended, also known as, or if you prefer, that which is not understood and perceived, or understand and perceived by the average human mind. That's what the word occult really means. And thus, beyond the range of his or her understanding, his or her understanding, and overstanding. Can't comprehend it. The word occult is also associated with the supernatural, or that which is conceived and believed to be and called the supernatural, such as example of what the word occult is associated with: magic, yeah, alchemy, witchcraft, astrology, metaphysics, etc. So just anything that is hidden, information that is hidden, knowledge that is hidden, occult. So it's not a bad word or something to be scared of, unless, The next word we want to look at is what is meant by the word metaphysics. Another word that drives fear into a lot of people. When I tell people I'm a metaphysician, I study metaphysics. I love metaphysics. I practice metaphysics. Simply put, the word metaphysics is actually two words. In English, it's called a compound word, meaning it's made up of two words, prefix and the root. Meta. Meta means beyond. And meaning beyond what? Beyond. And physics means the physical world. So beyond means beyond. And physics mean the physical, the tangible, and the practical world as we think we know it. Therefore, metaphysics is the study, the inquiry, etc., of that which is beyond the physical. Some people, if they can touch it, taste it, and feel it, they say it is not. It doesn't exist. Right? The only evidence they can think of is that which they can see, feel, touch with their five senses. So metaphysics is beyond that. It is the inquiry, etc., of that which is beyond the physical, the tangible, and the practical world that most people only know. And that which is beyond the and to take it a step further, it is to indulge in that which is beyond the five physical senses. And by extension, a metaphysician is one who practices the art and science of that which is beyond the physical, the tangible, and the practical world. That which is beyond the five senses. Metaphysicians. We just don't deal with what is seen, feel, hear, smell, and touch. But it goes beyond. But that's another subject for another time. Now, what is meant by the word mystic? This is where, the question, this has provoked me to go back and do all of this before I continue with my analysis. What is the meaning and definition of the word mystic? And who is a mystic? Sorry. Now, the online Merriam-Webster's dictionary defined the word mystic as follows, and I quote: a person who seeks by contemplation and self-surrender to obtain unity with or absorption into the deity or into the absolute. And deity is just another word for God. I'm sure most of you know that. Or who believes, mystic, or one who believes in the spiritual apprehension of truths that are beyond the intellect, that are beyond the five senses, if you will, unquote. From this, we that are in the know also, from this, we that are in the know may agree that another word that best describes all that I have just read and quoted to you is the word metaphysics, and by extension, metaphysician. But I will have much more to say about the words metaphysics and metaphysics at another time. The online etymology dictionary also defined the word mystic and a mystic as follows, and I quote, one who has been initiated, meaning pertaining to occult. Remember, I just defined the word occult for you? Occult, hidden practices, or ancient religions, ancient belief systems. Hidden from, or another word, another definition, hidden from or obscure to human knowledge or human comprehension, unquote. Again, from this, we that are in the know may agree that another word that best described all that I've just read and said is the word metaphysics, and by extension, the word metaphysician. And if all this is true, then from this we may also logically agree and conclude that the ordinary human intellect and the uninitiated mind does not know, nor can he or she know a mystic. Important. He or she cannot know a mystic. He or she cannot comprehend a mystic, and nor can he or she identify a mystic. Remember the person asked me the question? A mystic can't even prove to the uninitiated mind, or to the uninitiated, that he or she is a mystic. A mystic can or may only tell you meaning the uninitiated, that he or she is a mystic. Just like how I am telling you right now that I am the mystic philosopher. And the best that you, the uninitiated, and the intellectual mind can or may do is to believe or not to believe. It's up to you. You just can't. You cannot. So please don't feel bad if to you, I don't look or sound like a mystic to you. And you don't even know what a mystic look or sound like, in all honesty, if you are uninitiated. For it is not for you to know, let alone understand, and overstand a mystic. You can go look at these words for yourself and check out their meanings and definition and just think about it. Then you will understand. For your information, only a mystic, an initiated mind, can know another mystic. So don't feel bad. You don't know why. Now, what is philosophy? And who is a philosopher? Well, the English word, which is a noun, philosophy, according to the online etymology dictionary, is actually a compound word. Philo, and Sophie. And it is a direct derivative from the Latin and Greek word philosophia. And philo, the prefix, if you will, plus Sophie, is in Latin and Greek is defined as love of knowledge, the pursuit of wisdom, systematic investigation, as I told you, looking into the unknown, the metaphysician, beyond, systematic investigation. Phileo, by itself, is defined as loving, and Sophia, or Sophie, is defined as knowledge, wisdom. So in summary, one can logically deduce and conclude that philosophy, and by extension, philosopher, by meaning and definition, is both the love, the search, the study, the investigation, and the practice of what? Knowledge, aka epistemology, truth, understanding, and overstanding, and wisdom, the love thereof, the philosopher. It is to try to know, it is to try to understand, or it is to try to understand, and to overstand the nature of things. It is to try to know, to understand, and overstand the meaning and purpose of this thing that we call life. It is to try to know, to understand, and to overstand how we meaning people or humans, how we behave the way we do. It is to allow a person, a human, to devise a system by which he or she may effectively conduct his or her life in a good, peaceful, respectful, productive, and meaningful way. And the one who loves, search, study, and practices philosophy is known as a philosopher. Now, this will be the end of part 11, and I'm going to try to keep them within 15 minutes, but more knowledge, more information. So please stay tuned to this channel. Yes, the Mystic P acoustically. And join me again tomorrow for part 12. And that is, if I am gifted with another day, tomorrow is a promise, and one in which I continue to experience and full joy, good health, abundant life, freedom, safety, peace of mind, and good relationships with people like you all, my listeners and well-wishers. Please join me tomorrow, when and where I will continue to share with you some of my perspective, analysis, insights, and interpretation of stanza number 1 of Desiderata. Quote, go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. Placidly is the word we're going to be looking at tomorrow. Another perspective and interpretation of Desiderata by yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher. In the meantime and between time, I humbly ask, that you think, meditate, and contemplate the word placidly. We're going to deal with that come tomorrow. And lively up yourself, full joy, and be more and more and much, much more. Yes. And not less, aka bless. For I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say.